Can you tell us for a few minutes what's happening in Newark?
Newark. First of all, shout outs to those protesters who were out there at the VMAs, because I would never have known that 4 miles away, our little sister city to the west of us, Newark, New Jersey, had been suffering through a water crisis that has been recorded and documented since 2015. Like, I had no idea.
I'm totally ashamed of myself.
A lot of
Flint
people.
is everywhere.
Flint is everywhere, but just right across.
And right across.
The river from a city that I love my New York City water. When I travel away from here, I tell people how much I miss drinking the water. I talk about this a lot. You can look on my Twitter timeline and you can see.
I've heard it and I've seen it.
I'm always talking about my love for New York City water, and to think that our sister city right across the river is suffering because they cannot drink the water out of their tap because of elevated lead and carcinogens. Like, that really blew me. But thank you to those protesters. You guys really brought awareness that was much needed. But the thing that also came to mind is how often the joke, it's Infrastructure Week, comes up with pundits.
Right.
You know, oh, Trump says it's Infrastructure Week again. Ha ha, it's not Infrastructure Week. I'm like, no, it needs to be Infrastructure Week. Like, this is not a joke, okay? And when we say infrastructure, we're not just talking about our airports, because we know that's important to him, and our railroads. We're talking about water. Like, your basic human, like, that is a God-given right for you to have water, because I need that to survive. And so, like, Infrastructure Week being a joke, like, I need that to be done, because if it's not Newark or Flint, it's some other marginalized, oppressed, Black, brown, poor community where their kids are being poisoned by lead.
I mean, Flint, Newark, and then like Appalachia.
Right,
that
exactly.
is the pattern.
That's the pattern. I'm like, it's probably Gary, Indiana, and somewhere in Texas, Alabama,
definitely
Alabama, Mississippi, Native American reservations. You know, there has to be lists and lists of our communities that are being poisoned through their water pipes. And the joke of it's Infrastructure Week is not funny. We have to figure out how to fix these pipes. Like, I don't have a plan. I don't know. I'm not a politician, but I just want to bring awareness.
So in Newark, basically, the state has known there's been a problem since at least 2015.
Yes.
There's lead in the water. The mayor has now
lead from the pipes. The pipes are old, and they're leaking lead into the water. And they did come up with a plan to control that leakage. I don't know if they were pumping the pipes with some sort of other chemical,
some super safe chemical,
right?
Right. And the mayor is distributing bottled water. Yeah.
One note on the sort of broadness of this is, I remember when the Flint stuff was going on, they were talking about how all these pipes were basically put down in the massive infrastructure works of the New Deal, and those pipes last around 70, 80 years. So just around the entire country, you're going to see this come up more and more.
Right. And then there's going to be places that aren't upgraded, like Newark, because of the distributional realities of capitalism and where we live. So, and Mayor Baraka, who was supposed to be the anecdote, coming off of Cory Booker as a community leader, as someone who came out of the union movement, I believe, whose father was Amiri Baraka. He's been...
Well, I mean,
what's his response?
Well, his community feels like they were lied to. Like, he downplayed.
He might have downplayed.
Downplayed the severity of this and has allowed it to progress. I know that the state has stepped in at some points, and they have done a bond program to get these pipes upgraded and some relief so that homeowners don't feel the brunt of, the money that's needed in order to upgrade their pipes. But it's now gotten to a place where they have to distribute water. So it has not gotten better at all since 2015.
They have to distribute bottled water.
They have to distribute bottled water. Babies and pregnant women and the elderly and the sick cannot turn their tap water on. And, we've talked about this, because of Flint, but think about all the things that your tap water touches every day. You have to cook with it. You wash your hands with it. You brush your teeth with it. So there's things that bottled water can't even cover, or there's just not enough bottled water for how you interact with water on a daily basis. And Newark is it is a poor community for, when you look at our poverty scales. Like, it is. So how are these people going to be able to afford bottled water to do everything that they need every single day? Like, I'm just thinking about like the financial implications for that community that's already distressed. And they're already not getting funds for upgrading just basic needs in Newark. So I'm mad.
Yeah, well, I also just want to put, it's disgusting, and it's something that we should focus all of our attention. I agree with you, and particularly regionally, and particularly the disparity between New York and Newark. But I also just want to put on the table, because Cory Booker is just a cornball. And
poor Cory.
I'm sorry.
I agree, but I always feel bad. Like, he just reminds me of dudes I went to high school with.
Wow. See, the reason that I don't feel bad is because, and actually I'm willing to say, like, you know what, probably as a human being, he's probably a more decent human being than a lot of people in office, whatever. But you have the scale of systems problems in Newark because of deindustrialization, because of capitalism, because of racism. You had a guy who built a whole national brand. The only reason we know who Cory Booker is, the only reason he's running for president, is because he got a bunch of money from some of the most predatory industries and people in the United States.
Big
Wall
pharma.
Street and Silicon Valley and big pharma. But it started a lot with Silicon Valley and hedge funds to go into Newark, and then Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook to fiddle with the schools, to attack the teachers' unions, to come up with a whole bunch of nonsense and schemes. Now that we all know from all of the research, even the Bill Gates Foundation's like, oh, actually terrorizing teachers doesn't work. And the whole time when he had his charisma and his capacity to foreground his city in national consciousness, he bailed on it. He barely talks about it now that he's a national figure.
Right.
And when he did it, not a damn word about not having another generation of people poisoned by lead, but harass the teachers union with a Betsy DeVos agenda. And that is why, even though he's a nice, silly cornball or whatever, it's malignant politics. And him and Chris Christie, because Chris Christie was the partner in that, have a lot to answer for.
What shocks me, because in all of this, I totally forgot about Cory Booker, but absolutely. And I can't believe that every time they bring up Infrastructure Week, he's not on the floor advocating for an infrastructure package.
He's got other stuff to talk about.
You love to tell us how you live in the projects in Newark. So you mean to tell me that apartment that you lived in, when you turned the water on, you could not drink that water?
He probably bathed in Fiji.
Right.
Come on, stop it.
He had bottles of Fiji delivered to him, but why wouldn't you use that on the floor? Like, I don't understand that. Well, I mean, I do understand that. It's not.
Maybe it's less exciting. Maybe it's less Instagrammable.
Well, you know what? The babies can't drink water out of the tap, and mamas can't use it to make their bottles and their formulas, and that's really sad. So he can't get my vote. I mean, he wasn't gonna get my vote, but he definitely can't get my vote.
We're gonna get you to Bernie.
You're going to get me, Bernie?
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
Well, if anybody asks me why I can't vote for Cory Booker, I'm going to say because I didn't know that Newark had a water crisis.
Boom.
Thank you.
A lot of people are going to know who the great Artesia is. You can, of course, find all of your social media info.
Yes.
People are going to get a bunch of new Twitter followers out of this.
I know. Thank you to all my new Twitter followers. I promise that I'm going to engage a little more with you folks.
Oh, you don't have to engage with them.
I want to engage. Your fans are a little crazy. I love them.
They're awesome.
I mean,
passionate.
crazy good. I can feel your passion with every reply.
No, it's an amazing community of people. I've talked to you about what an honor it is to have that community. You've just watched a Michael Brooks show video, and you can watch all of our full main live shows every Tuesday night at around 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and subscribe to get all of the clips you want. We're covering the globe. We're focusing on international relations, the intellectual dark web. We're having fun. We're doing deep dives with a lot of amazing guests. Of course, become a patron for the whole thing at patreon.com/TMBS, or subscribe to this YouTube channel and help us keep growing and get that content out there. Subscribe below.